You know what I think? I think sometimes it's okay to be a fan. And that is a message that I think many Vancouver Canucks fans have kind of lost track of a little bit. Not to say that any of y'all are not real fans. I think anybody that dedicates any sort of emotional investment, whether that is joy or frustration or even apathy, apathy? I don't know. Apathy can come from a place of expectations and disappointment. So I think there still is some underlying emotional response there. Vancouver Canucks fans have been quite cynical about this team the past few years. And I know some of y'all might respond to that saying, okay, yeah, I mean, of course we have been. There are many reasons to be cynical about the Vancouver Canucks, from the people that own the franchise all the way at the very top to how that has trickled down throughout decisions made by GMs and presidents in recent memory, to the straight-up just bad results that the Vancouver Canucks have had in the majority of their seasons the past few years. There was a period of time, post-Sedin Twins, heck, even during the Sedin era, where the Vancouver Canucks were not a good team. It's been like this for more years than not in the past decade, and I can understand the cynicism. I feel it here too. We always make cynical comments on this YouTube channel about my favorite hockey team, the Vancouver Canucks. But I do think there is still room to be, maybe not necessarily a fan. I think I phrased that incorrectly at the beginning. We're all fans at the end of the day. But I do think there is room to be a fan boy, and to actually just allow ourselves to feel optimistic and happy about the way this team is assembled and the way this team has come together. I wanted to go out there and respond to some commentary made on the R Canucks subreddit after yesterday's Canucks defeat at the hands of the Seattle Kraken in the preseason. Now, you can check out our post-game video. We made that last night, talking about the game, about the players who stood out, and about everything else in between. Nikita Tolopilo, folks, he's very good. But the game was still a pretty sizable Vancouver Canucks loss. Say what you want about the goaltending when Tolopilo left the crease, but at the end of the day, you know, the Canucks, they played a mostly Abbotsford/ECHL and CHL lineup, and they kept things a little bit tight against a Seattle team that had the majority of their regular roster. But with this in mind, the game itself, I mean, I wanted to refer to a comment made on the post-game thread on the R Canucks sub. This was posted and talked about by Cucumber. And I'm not saying that Cucumber is being like a super big fanboy or whatever, but they made this comment and it kind of inspired me to make this video. I think my biggest takeaway so far, from the end of last season through to now, is that Patrik Allvin has done a good job with what he had. As a GM, fundamentally, he has to hire people to make the franchise better. Right now, our player development seems really promising. I think our coaching is solid, and scouting has been good, despite the Canucks not having any high draft picks, really, ever. If Patrik Allvin gets fired this season, I'll be pissed. To me, at least, it doesn't seem the coaching staff or management was the issue causing the drama last year. And I think that is a very accurate way to describe what was the source of the problem from last season up until the end of the season, because of course we recognize Miller and Pettersson having their feud, Demko being hurt, Quinn Hughes not staying healthy. Of course, he was phenomenal when he was in the lineup, but he did get hurt because he kind of had to overwork himself. All the injuries to everybody else. Of course, Pettersson had the tendonitis. Hronek was out for an extended period of time. It's very difficult to pin any of those things on the management, with the exception of maybe the Pettersson-Miller feud blowing up in the way that it did. I think that's probably the biggest error that Allvin and Rutherford made as a duo manning this team, was telling Miller, hey, we gotta push Petey more. He's on the first year of that contract and he stunk towards the end of last season in the playoffs. Miller, we want you to be the guy to push Petey to be better. And then that totally backfired because Pettersson doesn't respond well to that harsh kind of criticism and tough love type of approach that JT Miller thrives off of. Bruce Boudreau broke it down very well. But aside from that, you think about the strategy that the Vancouver Canucks had and the things that they have in the organization. The Canucks wanted to grab centers on the market. They wanted to be able to make a trade. They wanted to force things to go through, but nobody was biting. Nobody was selling. Patrik Allvin spoke out. They tried to make trades in the offseason. They tried to grab centers. They just couldn't. How many top 6 centers got traded this year in the free agent market? Like, none? There weren't any. Everybody stayed pat, and Patrik Allvin had no choice but to accept it. Now they had to look within. Okay, Filipino, can you step in? All right, we actually believe in this guy. Believe it or not, we believe in him, and so he's going to be the de facto second-line center. Meanwhile, Adam Foote, he had the team playing a lot more of an offensive-leaning style of game in yesterday's preseason contest against the Kraken. I think a lot of Canucks fans were very excited to see that. There's another comment here on the Canucks subreddit that I thought was really great here too. It's made by Walnut James. I will say, the system was exciting to watch. I can't wait to see the big boys play this system where it will be a bit more controlled. Obviously referring to the lackadaisical, somewhat clumsy nature of the younger prospects trying to execute these NHL-level plays and strategies. When it's more tight with Quinn Hughes and Brock Besser and Pettersson trying to do these same things, who knows what the results will look like. And then when it comes to player development, I was listening to Rick Dhaliwal on Halford and Bruff on Friday. He was talking about how, in his opinion, Abbotsford is one of the best-run American Hockey League clubs in the league. It's so close to Vancouver. There's such a good bridge of connection there between the main team and the farm team, and the staff in the farm team's organization are doing wonders between the Sedin twins and Manny Malhotra. Malhotra was gathering NHL interest, but nope, he's sticking around in Abbey for the next 2 years because the Canucks exercised their option to keep him. They're taking these guys that were not supposed to be top-tier guys and turning them into players that could potentially challenge for spots. You have defensemen like Vittorio Mancini, who wasn't a top-round guy or whatever. He was just a shoo-in, an extra player added in the JT Miller trade. And now he's scoring a goal in preseason. He's looking pretty strong. You have other players that are developing well. Arshdeep Bains, say what you want about how he had performed in the game yesterday, but he did play in the NHL. That normally doesn't happen. Then you have the guys that are looking to being good now. Tom Willander, Lekaramaki, Braden Coots looks awesome. That guy was drafted 15th overall. Patrik Allvin, say what you want about the lack of trades or the certain kinds of decisions, but I think a lot of the Vancouver Canucks' failures are not really at his behalf, in the same way that we can say, oh yeah, Jim Benning traded away Jared McCann for Eric Goodbranson. Jim Benning traded away Gustav Forsling for Adam Clendenning. Jim Benning traded away Roussel, Beagle, and Eriksson, whose contracts were expiring, for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And sure, Connor Garland came in that trade too, but they lost out on a first-round pick that inevitably became Dylan Genther. There were so many errors with the Jim Benning era, and I don't think we can say the same about a lot of what Allvin has done. Just that the team has underperformed in certain situations like they did last year. Is that Allvin's fault? I don't know. Seems like the players in Vancouver, they like being here. They want to be a part of this organization. They want to be together and they want to win together. There's culture in that, right? If young guys are able to break onto the team, then it just increases the internal competition and it hopefully pushes everyone to be better. So, with that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with this assessment here? Patrik Allvin is not at fault, and he actually did a pretty good job. If you agree or disagree, feel free to like or dislike this video and let me know in the comments why that is. It helps out with the algorithm. I really appreciate it. Thoughts on the Canucks and the Patrik Allvin era? What are your overall thoughts? Let me know in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.